It took 25 long years to unravel this chilling mystery. Kristin Smart, a 19-year-old American university student, stepped out of a college party into the warm California night and vanished without a trace. From the very beginning, investigators had their suspicions, their prime suspect. But without concrete evidence, without a body, the case grew colder with each passing year. Decades would slip by before a determined podcaster would unearth the horrifying truth, exposing buried secrets that finally forced law enforcement to act. This is the story of a family's relentless quest for justice, of critical police failures, and of how modern true crime investigation helped solve one of America's most haunting cold. Kristin Denise Smart was born on February 20, 1977 in Augsburg, Germany, where her parents, both teachers for military families, were stationed. The family later settled in Stockton, California, where Kristin grew into an athletic, responsible young woman. In 1996, she began her freshman year at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, working as a campus lifeguard. But on that fateful Memorial Day weekend, May 25, 1996, after attending an off-campus party, Kristin would never be seen again. Her disappearance would launch an investigation plagued by missed opportunities, a family's nightmare stretching across a quarter century, and a shocking resolution that no one could have predicted. Asterisk. The Phi Kappa Alpha house pulsed with the energy of a typical college party, music blaring, drinks flowing. But by 2 a.m. Kristin Smart was in trouble. Overwhelmed by alcohol, the 19-year-old struggled to stand near the driveway when classmates Cheryl Anderson and Tim Davis spotted her. As they began guiding her toward the dorms, a figure emerged from the shadows, Paul Flores, an acquaintance from campus. "I live closest, I'll take her," he insisted. With relief, they transferred Kristin into his care. That split-second decision marked the last confirmed sighting of Kristin Smart. The 600-foot walk to her dorm became an abyss she'd never cross. Asterisk. 2 days passed before alarm bells rang. Kristin's roommate, Margarita Campos, noted every essential still in place: her passport, $40 in cash, even the bathing suit she needed for her lifeguard shift. Campus police waved it off. "She's probably visiting family." But the Smarts lived 280 miles away in Stockton, a grueling 7-hour drive without gas money or identification. The Memorial Day weekend meant delayed reactions, shrugged shoulders. Crucial evidence was already vanishing, just like Kristin. Asterisk. The cracks in Paul Flores' story appeared immediately. While he claimed to have left Kristin safely at her dorm by 2:15 a.m., multiple witnesses saw him scrubbing his hands raw in the showers at 5 a.m., his body bearing fresh battle wounds. A black eye he first blamed on basketball, then a drunken fall, then a fight with his father. Campus police waited 2 catastrophic months to search the Flores homes, by which time critical evidence had vanished, cars were sold, clothes discarded, and fresh concrete mysteriously poured in his mother's backyard. When the Smarts sued Flores in 1997, he hid behind the Fifth Amendment 87 times, leaving investigators circling a suspect they couldn't touch. Even as Kristin's official 2002 death declaration brought no answers, only a grieving family's grim certainty that the truth lay buried beneath layers of lies and police incompetence. Asterisk. In 2018, 22 years after Kristin vanished, local musician Chris Lambert began obsessively re-examining every lead police had fumbled. His podcast, Your Own Backyard, exposed jaw-dropping oversights. No luminol tests in Flores' dorm despite bloody towels reported missing. No search of his father's truck where neighbors heard late-night digging. And most damning, a gold necklace chain identical to Kristin's, found by tenant Mary Lassiter in Susan Flores' rental home, casually dismissed by detectives who then lost the evidence. But Lambert's breakthrough came when he mapped the Flores properties. At the mother's house, a 4-foot by 6-foot concrete slab had been abruptly torn up weeks after the disappearance, replaced by a suspicious flower bed where tenants reported hearing a persistent digital beep, twice daily at exactly 4:20, until the battery died months later. Asterisk. When Chris Lambert sat down with Denise Smart in 2019, the grieving mother froze at one detail: the 4:20 alarm. That was Kristin's lifeguard shift alarm, she whispered, producing her daughter's identical watch as proof. 4 months after May 1996, that same alarm had pulsed underground in Susan Flores' backyard like a ghostly heartbeat until the battery finally gave out. Lambert's podcast listeners erupted when they connected the dots. The flower bed's dimensions matched a human form, the concrete had been poured suspiciously fast, and now this? The internet exploded with hashtag Justice for Kristin as millions realized they'd been hearing Kristin's final cries for help all along. On April 13, 2021, nearly 25 years to the day after Kristin vanished, Monterey County prosecutors secured their reckoning, Paul Flores convicted of murder. His father Ruben as accomplice for helping bury and later move the body. The evidence painted a horrific picture. Paul likely assaulted Kristin during that short walk home, killed her when she fought back, then enlisted Ruben to conceal the crime, first beneath that hastily poured concrete slab, then elsewhere when suspicion grew. As the Smarts clutched their daughter's photo outside court, their gratitude for Chris Lambert's work was tempered by one lingering question. Susan Flores tended that flower bed for years. Did the mother hear the phantom 420 alarms too? Choosing a son's freedom over another mother's peace? Asterisk. On April 13, 2021, nearly 25 years to the day after Kristin vanished, Monterey County prosecutors secured their reckoning, Paul Flores convicted of murder. His father Ruben as accomplice for helping bury and later move the body. The evidence painted a horrific picture. Paul likely assaulted Kristin during that short walk home, killed her when she fought back, then enlisted Ruben to conceal the crime, first beneath that hastily poured concrete slab, then elsewhere when suspicion grew. As the Smarts clutched their daughter's photo outside court, their gratitude for Chris Lambert's work was tempered by one lingering question. Susan Flores tended that flower bed for years. Did the mother hear the phantom 420 alarms too? Choosing a son's freedom over another mother's peace? Asterisk. Paul Flores now spends his days in a 6 by 9 foot cell at North Kern State Prison, serving a life sentence for Kristin's murder, while her remains, still undiscovered, deny her family the closure of a proper burial. This 25-year odyssey exposes both the failures of our justice system and the power of collective outrage, from Chris Lambert's microphone to millions of listeners who refuse to let Kristin become just another cold case file. Her story lives on in every shared episode, every vigilant neighbor, every daughter who came home safely because a generation learned the signs Flores left behind. Asterisk.